Hello wonderful people, it's Sarah back again, and today we're going to talk about my top 5 favorite reads of 2015 so far. This one won't be so much of a surprise. I mentioned in my last video in my top favorite books of all time, and it is Ready Player One by Ernest Cline. This is by far the most engaging novel I've read so far in 2015. The year is 2044 and it's surrounding a dystopian society that's addicted to a virtual reality called the Oasis. We follow our protagonist Wade, who is a teenage boy addicted to the Oasis to escape his normal reality. His mission is to find the greatest Easter egg ever, hidden in the Oasis by James Halliday, the maker of the game. The book follows Wade, his friends, and his competitors in the search to find the Easter egg the first, to inherit not only a fortune, but the rights to the Oasis. This book is different from what I'd usually read because it's an escapist novel. It's not necessarily about the people and their lives, but it's more about the settings and the weird, crazy, mystical things that happen in this book that it's all about. Next on my list is The Virgin Suicides by Jeffrey Eugenides. I really enjoyed this novel because it reads almost as a social commentary on how people view mental illness in their neighborhoods and communities. This novel isn't necessarily about the girls who commit the suicide, but rather the reactions and how the boys, who are the narrators of the stories, see the girls' suicides and actions. What I really loved about this novel is how creepily morbid it is, but it still explores some really important themes about mental illness and how others view it. Not to mention that this book is packed full with beautiful prose. The lackadaisical writing of Eugenides is truly beautiful and what really makes this book such a masterpiece. Next is my favorite science author, Neil deGrasse Tyson, with his book, The Plutotophiles. This book is written about the controversy surrounding Pluto's demotion to an icy comet, and how that really challenged the culture surrounding Pluto, and how people really have familial ties to science that they don't really justify very well. Tyson does a really good job exploring why there is such a cultural tie between Pluto and society, without really any scientific substance to it. What he has done is collected a really substantial amount of information about how Pluto has tied into our society as a culture, especially in pop culture. Everything from the fact that there's a Disney character named Pluto to the fact that an American actually discovered Pluto in his own backyard. Lastly, what I'm always satisfied about in Neil deGrasse Tyson's writing is the comprehension of the science language. He doesn't use an excessive amount of jargon in his writing. He makes it really clear and concise and easy for someone who isn't an astrophysicist to understand. Next on my list was my first Hemingway novel. I've been a fan of Hemingway poetry for a very long time, and I decided it was finally time to give one of his novels a chance, and that is The Sun Also Rises. This book really changed how I think about classics. Before this, one of the only classics I really enjoyed was J.D. Salinger's The Catcher in the Rye, which is also one of my favorite novels. It reminded me how novels should be less about the fluff and the romance and the love triangles, and more about experiencing a new place or a new emotion without actually experiencing it. This group follows the protagonist Jake and his group of friends as they travel to Spain to witness the running of the bulls and the bullfights. At first read, this book isn't very interesting. All it seems to be is a string of cafes getting drunk, nights with mistakes, traveling in between cities, fishing, and bullfights. I would definitely recommend this to someone who isn't really a fan of the classics, but wants to delve into them. Last on my list is a book I just finished a few days ago and I am absolutely in love with, and that is Station 11 by Emily St. John Mandel. This book takes place in a post-apocalyptic world where a flu called the Georgia flu has wiped out almost the entire population. There is no running water, no electricity, no transit, pretty much nothing that we take comfort in the modern world. What I like most about this book is that it really isn't about the end of the world. It's about the people in this post-apocalyptic world and how they choose to survive it. It explores some really interesting themes about, even though it is a post-apocalyptic world and there should be more important things you should be looking out for, it's about self-exploration and what really makes a person. Probably my favorite thing about this novel is that even though there is a wide variety of characters, St. John Mandel does a really good job of exploring each of them and making them all very multi-dimensional. If I were to pick any one of these 5 for you to read first, it would definitely be this one. It is a beautiful novel filled with wonderful prose and a lot of character depth. So that wraps up my first Top 5 Wednesday video. I hope you all give at least one of these books a chance because they are all truly amazing. If you like this video, make sure to like and subscribe. You can find me on Goodreads and Twitter, links in the description. If you have any book recommendations, leave them in the comments and I'd be glad to read them. Thank you all for watching. I hope you have a great day and I'll see you soon.